All right, guys, we look forward to getting back on the practice field today and start our preparation for Arizona. Um, our focus remains on our preparation. Offensively, it all starts with Kyler. He does a good job with his feet as well as his arm. He's having a very strong rookie year. He's developing as an overall good player in this league. We know they're dangerous with David. He can still make plays. Larry's been a fixture there. One of the greatest of all time. Everybody knows Larry, the type of person he is, the competitor he is. I have nothing but great things to say about Larry. Defensively, they fly around, they get to the ball. Chandler, leads the league 14 sacks, causes disruption on the football. He's got 6 caused fumbles. He's disruptive in the run and the pass game, so our tackles have to do a good job of handling him. Buda Baker's a playmaker, loves to play the game of football, competes on every play. Special teams, they've got a very good team, very good in the return game. Coverage units, very physical. So we got a work cut out for us this week. Any questions?
What does it look like for Vernon as far as practice?
He'll be a day-to-day,
Still?
just to see how he improves.
What about the guys from Sunday, Hubbard and Harris?
We'll see as we go through the week. Yeah.
Anybody else going to be missing today of note?
Sione is sick, and that's about the only one. JC, I don't know how well he'll practice today, so we'll see what we get when we get out there. It'll depend on how he feels when he starts moving around.
You looking forward to going back to Arizona?
Really, it's really just the next game. It's I spent 11 years there, so you got a lot of close friends and stuff like that there. But it's just football season. It's just the next game.
As a point of history, the Browns were out there in an important game for them in 2007. It kind of cost them the playoffs. Anything come back to you about that game?
Yeah, I remember they threw a ball up to Winslow in the corner, and that's before they changed the rule that was the first year they changed the rule, I think, to you could push him out of bounds. So he jumped up for the ball at the front left pylon, and pushed him out of bounds, or they'd have won the game. So I think my memory is pretty keen in that area.
Anything about that place that makes it different to play in than other stadiums?
Well, listen, it's a great home field advantage for them. A great playing surface. Of course, you can open the roof there. That's kind of a fascination. But it's a tremendous environment, great stadium. So weather's good, or it depends on what you like,
What's unique about Kyler Murray and just what makes him appear to be the special player that he's starting to look like he is?
I think anytime the quarterback has the potential to pull down a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6, and get it with his feet, I think that's a great attribute. And he could do that at any time. I think he's seeing the field well. He's brave from the standpoint he likes to fit balls in tight windows and things like that. He kind of plays fearless, and that's some traits of good quarterbacks. Smart but fearless, and I think he does a good job of that.
What do you think about Larry that has made him be able to stay in the league so long and still be productive?
Larry loves the game first and foremost. He's probably one of the hardest workers I know. He works, he practices, he works. He does a great job of staying in the moment and trying to get better each day. He's a prime example of just continuing to work. I mean, he wasn't like everybody thought he was declining, 6 years into his career, and he just hit a new level. I mean, the playoff run that we had in 08, I mean, his ball skills are second to none. Tony, that could be a fine. His ball skills are impeccable. He just loves the game, and he competes, and it means something to him. It matters to him. You know, he wants to win. He works. All the little attributes that make up a good football player, he's off the charts with.
How close have you guys come to playing a complete game? In Baltimore, a ways back, it comes to mind as a complete game, but how close have you come to that, and is that something that you're kind of focused on as you move into this stretch run?
We continue to try to put everything together from the standpoint of playing great complementary football. You know, I thought we did that the other day to a certain extent, with not the success rate that we wanted because we had some turnovers and things of that nature. But you know, we just need to continue to play. Just go play the game and just do what you can, improve, and play the game on a play-by-play basis and not worry about the result. Just go play the play.
Does playing for each other become any sort of focus? I mean, that would be a mantra for any team any time, but given the choppy nature of the Brown season, have you sent out the message lately of let's make sure we're playing together?
Yeah, back in April or May. It's the same. The message hadn't changed. It only matters what's in the locker room. That's all the thing that ever matters. So of course they play together. They play together. They stay together. It goes back to when adversity hits, you're going to run together instead of running apart. And I think we've done a good job of that and maintaining that throughout the year because there has been difficult moments, and these guys have remained together and stayed together and have done well in the past month and a half. So. When you hit situations like that, it can go either north or south, and we chose to go north with it.
Monday, you talked about how you've seen Baker improve and kind of how he handles everything about the position and the stuff that goes with it. On the field, where do you think he's made the biggest strides?
I think he continues to identify pressures, and I think his eyes are getting better. And again, he's not a finished product. He's a, he's a second-year player. He's seeing more coverages this year. He's seeing different looks. He knows where he wants to go with the ball most of the time, and he does a good job of identifying and being able to communicate and understanding what we can do to attack certain instances. And so just his overall knowledge and feel. I told you guys before, playing quarterback is like taking 1,000 pictures all at once, and you just got to build your repertoire of the pictures that you see when a ball is snapped. What are the safeties doing? What's the linebacker doing? What are they more likely to do in this instance? So he continues to build his book of pictures per se in his mind.
What is your thinking on heading out a day early, and then how will you guys continue to prepare once you get there in terms of like walkthrough or whatever you have?
Well, it's our Friday will be normal. We'll wake up there, and our Saturday will be normal. Everything will be in a normal type schedule, as opposed to, one day before.
What do you do Saturday? You have a walkthrough in the hotel or at a stadium?
We'll find a place to walk through out there. We'd like to get out of the hotel and go walk through and kind of maintain, our normal schedule. Everything we do when we travel, we try to maintain as much normalcy as we can.
The reason for going Friday is distance, or what?
No, I think just you have to have the game's a 2:00 game out there, which is a 4:00 game, so that's really not a big factor. It's really just so you're not traveling that distance the day before the game. And, different people do it different ways, and it's a lot different. I was in Arizona for 11 years. It's a lot different when you're traveling from west to east. So.
You mentioned Chandler Jones. Can you kind of elaborate on what makes him a challenge for your tackles?
Well, he's got, he's a big guy, tremendous length. He attacks the football when he's around the football. So his hands and his length help him get to points where the football are that a lot of people can't do from a physical standpoint. And then his motor is tremendous. He plays, for him to do what he does is pretty remarkable. He really doesn't come off the field. And that's a great testament to him as a player. He can bend and dip and get low. So, and then he's got the strength and length to bull rush him. So, he's a very good, refined pass rusher.
What have you seen out of Brian Cox in the limited time he's been here? It feels like he's continuing to get more and more playing time.
Yeah, I think Brian's a young player that's going to continue to develop. He's got a tremendous motor. He hasn't never seen a play that he wanted to take off, so he's going to finish the plays and continues to work. I think he's feeling a little more comfortable now in the system of what his role and his responsibility is, and he just needs to continue to keep his head down and keep doing that.
Update on a player we've asked a lot about this year, but I think Higgins' only time on the field was on the onside kick in the last game. So
we try to play the players that give us the best chance to win each and every week. And that's strictly a week-to-week thing. So it may be different this week than it was last week. It may be different next week than it is this week.
Was preparing for Kyler, the fact that you had to prepare for Lamar earlier in the season, what are the similarities between these two guys, and will it kind of help you that you had to prepare for Lamar and also be preparing for him?
Yeah, I don't really like to get into comparing players to players, but I know that Kyler offers the innate ability to make you miss in space, and so does Lamar. But Lamar's a very physical type runner, just his body type. Tremendous player, everybody knows that. But Kyler has the innate ability to make you miss and just keep the chains moving, you know. His ability to run the no-huddle offense is pretty good from the standpoint of he's a rookie, and so.
You know, there was a public apology by Baker, and also you talked to him. Was there any need for a personal meeting between him and medical staff personnel?
You know, anything we do like that will be handled with us. We've put that behind us.
Freddie, Baker had some key runs on Sunday, of course, the touchdown, and then on your first drive, you picked up that first down. And that drive probably ends in points if Joe catches it cleanly. Anyway, is he trusting his instincts more as a runner, or are you having conversations with him to recognize when he should take off sooner?
I think that's point in time is when Baker turns into a football player and not a quarterback, and I think that's his first instincts, and anytime he can do things with his legs, we encourage as long as he stays out of harm's way.
Do you know Kingsbury at all? Coach Kingsbury?
I've just met him, spent some time with him at different events and stuff.
He was in college while you were at Arizona. Did you guys have an eye on what he was doing with Tech? I mean, he was one of those coaches that was coming up with some innovative things offensively.
Yeah, I think you know, as a coach, you're always looking for different things and to make you better. It's never, you know, you're never a finished product. You're always trying to evolve as a coach and understand when people have success, try to see why and how and when they do it. So I'm sure at some point we ran across some tape that they were doing. I know the gist of what they do.
As a point of history with Mayfield, Kingsbury, of course, was his first college coach. But for you, what's your first memory of seeing Mayfield, and what was your impression of him back when?
On tape or in person?
Well, watching him play.
I would go back to your comment or asking me about, it all comes down to execution. It doesn't matter, I don't think.
Right.
I think sometimes we get so caught up in systems, okay? And it's about execution. It's not about anything other than that. Going back to what you said, in person, or what'd you say?
In person. What's your first memory of watching Mayfield play when he was
Well, I remember, you know, thinking in person, I loved his arm strength. I loved his accuracy. You know, that was it. I loved his fight, his competitiveness. I think all the intangibles that you saw, that's what I liked the most.
I get what you're saying about every offense being about execution, but does the Arizona offense this year look, as you prepare for it, is it a lot different than other offense you've had to prepare for this year?
Well, I think you know, at the core of it, no, because their job and what they try to do is move the chains and get another set of downs, and they've got, you know, 500 and something no huddle plays, and the next closest team is 100 and something. So, you know, they're going to run that, and we've got to line up and defend it. You know, I mean, sometimes there's a lot of window dressings and it's the same play. So I think that's kind of the key.
The NFL kind of used to thumb its nose at the air raid and sort of its components, personnel coming out of it. That's clearly changed You got an air raid quarterback, and you're playing a coach, who runs that system with a quarterback who's experienced in it. Why do you think that's changed in the NFL, really kind of recently too?
Well, I think you have to go all the way back to like high school, okay? Because at first high schools were doing it, colleges started doing it, and then the NFL started doing some of those things. So the evolution, per se, of just the simple fact that when you go evaluate guys, you have to evaluate with what you see. And sometimes what you see is what they do best, and what they do best, you're not very bright if you try to totally change them. So I think that's probably the key, but it all starts in high school, you know. I've got a buddy of mine that is coaching at Tennessee now. Started at Hoover High School, okay? He was the defensive coordinator in Birmingham. He started Alabama. He started as defense coordinator at Hoover High School. He moved on to Alabama. Ended up, a few years later, he ends up being defense coordinator at Florida State, defense coordinator at Georgia, then Alabama, back at Alabama. But his ideas to defend that was already set in stone, and it all stemmed from high school. So, if you're a college and you go try to find a pro-style quarterback in high school, it's very difficult these days. So I think that kind of carries over, you know.
In preparing your team to face the Cardinals, are you finding it useful to bring up the way that they played the 49ers almost better than most teams have this whole season?
Well, listen, this is the NFL, so anybody can win any game. I don't understand where, wins become not good wins. So any win's a good win. So in saying that, they've had a lot of games that, their record could be totally different, with a couple of, tip balls here and there, and, everybody around the league is that way, and for the good also. So sometimes you win some games out of fortune. Sometimes you lose some games out of misfortune. So, listen, we got to line up and play. I mean, we shouldn't overlook anybody. We should line up and play our best individually, collectively, good complementary football, and execute and do the best we can on Sunday.
Given the fact that Kendall Lamb received pretty good reviews for his start, could he hold that position down even if Hubbard is fully healthy?
We'll see what we're at the end of the week, but I'm very pleased with the way Kendall competed. He hadn't played football in 10 weeks or something. So, I want him to continue to get better and worry about the rest of that stuff on Sunday. I want him prepared to play.
How much have you and Steve Wilkes talked about your Arizona experiences, and do you have a sense for his mindset heading into this week?
I think Steve does a good job of keeping things compartmentalized and staying focused on what he has to do this week to win the game. I don't think it's neither here nor there.